What an awesome and blessed time of worship. I really love our prayer and worship time. And there are a lot of times that if I didn't have anything, I could just start with that first song and praise and worship my way into the presence of God. And by the time it's over, He will have spoken something to my heart that I could share with you, because He's always faithful that way, and I like that. But this is not one of those times. What I'm thinking about, what's on my heart, actually started last night. I was thinking about it last night while I was supposed to be sleeping. While I was trying to sleep. I stayed up late last night. Saturday is college football day in the fall. It's the only reason to tolerate cooler temperatures. I know everybody hates the summer and they're all glad for it. I hate the winter, so I'd rather have 95 than 55 all day, every day. I'd rather have 75 for a high and 65 for a low year round, but, that's for heaven, I suspect. I don't know. Maybe they'll be cold temperatures. Doesn't matter, I digress. The point is that yesterday was crazy. Nuts. 8 of the top 25 teams had the week off. Didn't play. And what that means is that 17 of the top 25 teams were actually playing. Of the top 11, now 11 times 2 is 22. There are only 17 top 25 teams playing, which means that 17 to 22 is 5. 5 of those top 11 teams played teams that weren't even in the top 25. And 5 of the top 11 teams lost. 5, including the number 1. The number 2, I believe. It was absolutely insane. And it was a great day for underdog fans. People love those stories, those, the team, the David that rises up and beats the Goliath team and the underdog, and you never expect it. That's great and that's wonderful. And there were a lot of Vanderbilt fans just really celebrating last night, and a lot of A&M fans who were surprised that they beat Missouri when they really shouldn't have. Another top 10 team that dropped down to, A&M was ranked at 25, but just teams that shouldn't have lost. And what you got to remember is, for everybody celebrating that underdog victory, you have an Alabama fan who is heartbroken trying to figure out what went wrong. That is the most embarrassing, worst defeat Alabama's had in over 60 years. Seriously, it was bad. And the reason I stayed up late last night was because the Texas Tech game, which didn't start until 10 o'clock, luckily that meant I got to watch all of the SFA game before it started, because SFA is actually playing great this season. D2, but they're winning. But Tech didn't play until 10 o'clock, and they weren't supposed to win. They haven't won in Arizona since Star Wars was number 1 in the box office. That was 1977. I was 6 years old, and I'm an old man now. They were playing a good game. And my original thought was, I'm not going to stay up and watch this game, because this far into the season, I know these guys have not been playing worth staying up and watching. I got church in the morning. I got things to do. At 12:30, there was still half of the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter left, and Tech was actually up 18-3. Well, that was when the period first started. Didn't quite last to the third period. So I stayed up because now they're making a game of it. They might actually win this thing. That'd be a shock. But I didn't watch it because I wanted to let my wife sleep. So I sat in bed with my phone dimmed all the way over and read the play-by-play as it came across until there was 50 seconds left. And my guys were taking a knee. But a few times during that, it looked like they might blow that. They did only win by like 5 or 6. And it looked like they might blow it. And I remember sitting there thinking, if I stay up till 1:45 in the morning to watch the end of this game or to find out what happens on this game and they blow it, I'm not going to be happy. If they blow this lead, I am not going to be happy. And they didn't. And it was good. But there were some guys that stayed up for Arizona that were pretty disappointed. How on earth did they lose to Tech? Why am I going on about this? Because that's not grace. And I thought about that as I was laying there. You know, I say I'm a fan, I say I support them. And then I evaluate based on their performance whether or not they're going to be worth watching. Sitting up late to watch. And then when I decide yes, then I start seeing them struggle and I start going, if you blow it, I'm going to be real upset because I stayed up late for this. Never mind, the work they put in and the traveling and the playing, and they're the ones doing the thing. I stayed up late. God saw us, and based on our performance, there is absolutely very few of us that are worth watching. Okay, let's just be honest. None of us win. We all fail and fall short. It doesn't matter if he stays up for 5 minutes or 5,000 years. Everybody he watches is going to blow it. None of us are worth watching. Staying up for, struggling over, rooting for whatever, but instead of saying, man, what a bunch of losers. They never get it right. They never get it right. I part the Red Sea. And in less than a month, they don't think I can take care of them. I forgive their sin, and they stay too ashamed to come to me. They think they have to get better to come get my help. But I'm the one that makes them better. I'm the refuge and the shield. And they look to all these other things and reject me for that which doesn't satisfy, and for that which won't fulfill the need, and that which doesn't protect, and that which brings destruction instead of life. And they do it over and over and over and over and over again. I think I'll die for them. Yeah, I'm a fan. I won't even stay up late if you're playing really lousy. No, this isn't worth watching. I'm going to go to bed. Now, I am the kind of fan that, the 7 o'clock game that's over at 9:30, I don't care if you lost by 60. I will watch it. I will gripe about you. I will complain about you. I will say that the coach needs to be fired. There is no grace in me watching it, but I will watch it. But I won't stay up late. He wrapped himself in flesh, made himself one of us. We blew it way worse than a game that doesn't matter. We're talking about performance that matters. moral choices, why we make those choices. Everybody wants to go, why is there so much evil in the world? Look at your heart. Because people. We're the wickedness in the world. It's not God. We're doing it. But He made a way. He doesn't say perform or I'll quit. He doesn't say if you don't get it right this time, you fumble one more snap, I'm done with you. Are you serious? You missed an extra point? Those are gimmies. How could you possibly drop that ball? How could you forget that verse? How could you forget that promise? He wrapped Himself in flesh. He did it right. And then He died in our place, taking on my sin, your sin, and all our lousy performances. And He traded them for His perfect righteousness. He says, I'll not only support you, I'll not only accept you, I not only love you, I will bring you to myself. I will make you strong where you are weak. I will give you power to walk with me where you have always failed. I will heal your sickness and your disease. I will put a new heart in you. I will give you life, undeserved. That's an awesome, awesome thing from an awesome, awesome God who looks at a bunch of worthless people who have never gotten 100 in anything outside of school. I mean, seriously, everything, look back. Maybe you have. Maybe you've gotten one or two. I haven't. I've tried to look back and find one, but I can't. Every time I go, yeah, that one I did right. Well, look at your morals, your motives. Were your motives 100% pure love and unselfishness? Or did you do that because it made you feel good to do that? Would you have still done that if it would make you feel bad to do that? If the answer is no, then you didn't do it for them. You did it for you. Might still be a good thing, but it's not 100% anymore. Now it's selfish and self-centered too. Never done it. He did. He only gained us. And He's the only one that thinks we're worth dying for. So He did it. We don't have to perform up to His standard. He performs through us to His standard. He gives the power. The same power that raised Him from the dead raises us from the dead to life in obedience in relationship with Him. That's awesome. So remember that and thank Him for it. Walk in the truth of it so that when you start stumbling around and running the wrong direction and fumbling balls and dropping passes and doing all the things that, typical day, you stop thinking, I can't come to Him. I'm not good enough for Him to use. Oh, I'm just a loser and God needs to just cut me loose and put me on the bench. No, He likes to use losers and weak people who can't do it because He came for losers. And when you're victorious, He wants everybody to go, wow, how did Vanderbilt beat Alabama? And we can come up with all kinds of reasons. But when you do it in your life, it's, wow, how did he quit doing that? How did she stop doing that? How did they find freedom? And then you get to go, God, Jesus, He died so I could live. He bled so I could be made whole and made clean and made righteous. Oh, And so you can too. So you can come. You can come. Drop 100 passes, you can come. You can come. So come.